this weekend, just by treating people a certain way. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Enough of those things. Enough of the teaching tonight. Tayyip. Do you have any questions tonight? Abu Saeed, tafadhal.
Is it wajib to bring your teenage son, maybe 15, 16, 17, for the Jumu'ah prayers?
Question says, is it wajib for you to bring your teenage sons, 15, 16, to the Jumu'ah prayer? We say, the people of knowledge, the fuqaha, they mention the conditions of Jumu'ah being mandatory. The conditions of the Jumu'ah being mandatory. And also those people who are excused from not attending the Jumu'ah. Travelers, sick, slaves, women, and people that are beneath the age of bulugh. So once a man is baligh, once he's reached the age of puberty or adolescence, reaching the Islamic age, he is required to do the things that a grown man is required to do. So you have a 12-year-old young man, a 9-year-old boy, a 10-year-old boy, young man, and we have a 30-year-old man. They're both held what? Equally. For Jum'ah, lowering the gaze, anything that is a responsibility for them to do what? For them to do. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Do you specialize in Shafi'i fiqh?
Question says, do you specialize in Shafi'i fiqh? I don't specialize in anything. I'm just a beginner. A junior what? A junior student of knowledge. That's it. I don't specialize in anything. We try to focus on hadith, learn and study hadith and other things, but I do not specialize. I'm not a specialist. I'm just a beginner. Wallahu alam. I don't specialize in Shafi'i fiqh.
Question says, being that the Quran states that a man can go into his wife in any manner as long as it's vaginal, does that mean that there is allowance for oral sex?
Question says, due to the fact that the Quran states that a man is allowed to go to his wife anyway as long as it's vaginal, does that mean that oral sex is permissible? As we've said before, we're not going to discuss the issue of the Quran. And does it state in the Quran vaginal? Doesn't necessarily say that. It says harthul lakum fa'tu harthakum anna shi'tum. It says women are your tilth. Go to them as you wish. A land, farm. Okay, plant your seeds. Everybody understand this? So, that's a discussion in itself. Okay, with regards to the permissibility of anal sex. And what's meant by that ayah, a woman getting pregnant, etc. Okay, we said once again, with regards to oral sex, we've explained, we've answered this question several times. And this is also a confirmation of what we said, that it's a very commonly asked question. And we've explained it, and we'll explain it again in brief. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Rasul, the Kitab and the Sunnah, they tell us what to do. And they tell us what not to do. And that which is not mentioned in the Kitab, in the Sunnah, it goes back to an asl, a default ruling, a default foundation. And that default foundation and that default ruling is several things. Harthul lakum, your farm, your land, your tilth. Isna'u kulla shay'in illa nikah. Do whatever you want besides the nikah. And of course, on misses, these hadiths that we took tonight and last night, the izar, knee to navel, etc. In other words, the asl, the rule of thumb, the original basic ruling is that a man is allowed to have any type of fun and pleasure with his wife, as long as it is not explicitly mentioned in the Kitab and the Sunnah. Anal sex, vaginal sex during the time of menstruation. That which is not mentioned in these concepts goes back to the what? Asl. Huwa alladhi khalaqa lakum. Allah has created for you everything in the earth. Jami'ah. Allah made everything for you. So the people of knowledge, they say that when it comes to worldly issues, worldly affairs, it's permissible until proven what? Impermissible. In general, when it comes to a man and his wife, the Prophet ﷺ clearly explained to us what to do and what not to do. Everybody clear on this? So this is the view of some of the people of knowledge. They say, and this is a summary of the issue, is that it's permissible for man to have oral sex with his wife. Giving, receiving, even at the same time. And other ulama, they say no. La, la, la. It's haram to do this. Because oral sex is an act of imitating animals, dogs. It's an act of imitating the kuffar. It's an act of imitating the fasiqeen, the evil, wicked, sinful people. They say it is something that pertains to najasat, certain places and things that contain things that are Islamically najis. Some of them may say that it is something which is disgusting. It's abhorred. How can a woman put her mouth on a man's penis? How can a man put his tongue on a woman's clitoris inside of her vagina? This is disgusting. And that's their view. That's their what? That's the view that they have, and that's the proof from the adillah that they have. How can somebody recite the Quran and commit oral sex? Everybody understand this? The concept of the private area, your shy area, you're ashamed to show it off. How can you put it in someone else's mouth? How can someone else kiss and lick and touch and bite your private area? So this is their point of view. And this is, they say that it's haram to commit and to practice oral sex. Giving it, receiving it, at the same time, etc. So therefore, if you have doubt about the issue, if you're unsure, then stay away from it. Don't do it. Don't perform it. Don't receive it. Because that's best for you. To avoid the khilaf of the ulama. Those who say that it's permissible, they don't say that it's mandatory. But those who say that it's haram, they say if you do it, you get a sin. So it makes sense to avoid the opportunity of getting a what? A sin. The danger of getting a sin. As far as if you feel convinced of some of the proofs and evidences that we've mentioned, in brief, that it is permissible, then do it. Bismillah. If you do it, then you have ulama of past and of present who held the view that it's permissible. You have a salaf. You have someone who preceded you in the issue. It isn't something that you're just making up and doing. Everybody understand this? Now, last but not least, as we've said many times before, and we'll keep it brief, inshallah, hopefully, PG-13, is the concept of 2016, in which there's widespread perversion, sexual perversion, mental perversion. As we said, there may be a girl or a guy who's a virgin physically. He went to the Islamic school. He went to this academy. He's physically a virgin. She's physically a virgin. Her hymen is still there. No one has ever penetrated her. But she may be mentally a whore. Literally, unfortunately. He may be a whore. As they say, a dog. He's watched porn. He's listened to music. And when you talk about sex and women and this and that, he's seen movies. He's had ideas. He's masturbated. He may have fondled someone. Someone may have fondled him in the bathroom, in the stairs. Everybody understand this? So they're physically virgins, but they're mentally what? If not that extreme, they've been exposed to some rough stuff. Some what? Some rough stuff. So therefore, this sister or this brother, we're not picking on any of the two sexes, they get married. They want to do good. They want to do right. They want to live the permissible sunnah life. And they just can't get married to just, as you say, plain Jane. The wife just has cut off the lights and that's it. Bring the covers and that's it. Nothing outside of the orthodox traditional positions and ways. It's a reality. And he's like, what? No, I'm not doing that. That's horrible. That's disgusting. La, a'udhu billah. I want to tell my father. Abu Sharif is going to be a what now? It's going to be a huge problem. And she doesn't say that it's haram, but she says, I'm not doing that. Everybody understand this? There's going to be a what? Huge problem. Or people that weren't virgins, that came from Jahiliyyah. Or a Muslim who had sex before marriage. Whatever the case may be. A person may, and we have to be real, okay? Because the fuqaha, they explain this about a person's environment. How fatwas can change. Rulings can change. Things are determined according to what? The environment. Rather, one of the 5 major legal maxims, al-'ada muhakkama, is that the custom of the people is a judge, is used as a rule. In other words, that which is not explicitly mentioned in Kitab and Sunnah to be haram. We go back to the what sometimes? Custom of the people. So therefore, you're not raised in the hills of Bangladesh. Everybody understand this? Far pure, even though they have perversion there as well, because of the internet and the modern technology. But the concept of you from New York City, You've seen this rapper. You've seen this heavy metal artist. You've walked by. You've seen this lady performer. This one on a train, on a bus, in school, in a cartoon. You've seen these things. Even if you're not looking at them and watching them, but it's come across your way. You've heard this song by this famous person and this one and that one, this movie. So the concept of oral sex, and I want to try it out. What is it like? This and that. It's going to be lingering around what? In your mind. So if you get married and the next spouse says, no, I don't want to do it, kether with kether, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a what? It's going to be a problem. So just be mindful of 2016. The wife refused to give him oral sex. And he really wants oral sex. The shaitan may force him, may get him to get it somewhere else in a haram way. In a what? A haram, easy, simple, quick way. Or the exact opposite. And there's stories like this in which sisters have got divorced from their husbands because their husbands did not do certain sexual acts. I'm not making this up. And I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to make you laugh. Everybody understand this? We don't have to mention no names. There's been times, sisters, in which they've left their husbands, got divorced because he said he's not pleasing me in the bedroom. He doesn't last long enough. He's not this. He doesn't make me this. He doesn't get me to do this. He won't do this. And she believes that these acts are permissible. And so does he, but he just, that's not my thing. Or I'm not the type of guy, or whatever the case may be. So we have to be mindful of this. So you have to protect your chastity and also that of your wives. Everybody understand this? I got your back, you got mines. I keep you away from the haram, you keep me away from the haram. Everybody clear on this? Maybe this is a bit over our heads. Especially for the younger brothers. The importance of this, of doing all that is permissible, not haram. We're not talking about this haram. If you feel that it's haram, that's what? Total different story. If it's in the boundaries of halal, and it's something that's going to bring your wife's gaze lower, her chastity more, stronger, it's going to make her love you more, be with you more affection, more passion, and your marriage to survive, then it should be what? Done. And there should be no hesitation from either of the two spouses. I know it's permissible, but I'm just not doing it for you. It's not a good husband. I know it's permissible. I believe it's permissible, but I'm not doing that for you. Okay, fine. So we have no second wife. May Allah help us all. Hopefully that's clear. Inshallah. Allah bless us and bless you. That's a summary of the issue. I didn't give you my personal opinion. What the ulama of Islam say. Wallahu alam.
Is it permissible to divorce a woman for the third time, then in a span of a month get her to marry another man and have sex with him, divorce him, and then marry her back?
We say that if you divorce your wife for the third and final time, it's haram for you to remarry her until she remarries someone else with an actual intention of marriage. The actual intention. I like brother Fulan. Doesn't have to really love him, but she wants to be with him. They're married according to Kitab and Sunnah. They actually have sexual intercourse, vaginal intercourse. And for one reason or another, they break up. A month later, a week later, a year later, 5 years later, she's divorced. She has her iddah. Then you can remarry her. As is clearly mentioned in the authentic Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah, alayhi salatu wasalam. As far as if you do it just to get her back. Yo, akhi, I miss my wife. I love her. I was married for 10 years. We had all of these kids. I was stupid. I was foolish. SubhanAllah. I need you to do me a favor. This is a reality. Marry her. Make sure you have sex with her. Only once though. Tayyib, don't go crazy. You may say this. Brothers say this. You agree to this or not, akhi? La. Tayyib, everybody clear on this? As soon as you're done, immediately make talaq. Instantly. Or even better than that, get her to get a khula. But it's even quicker. Everybody saying this, play games. And as soon as she's halal, Assalamu alaikum, I miss you, let's get back together. That's impermissible. And some of the people now say that it's a major sin. As it states in the hadith, لَعْنَ اللَّهُ الْمُحَلِّلَ وَالْمُحَلَّلَ لَهُ. May Allah, or Allah will curse he who does it and he for whom it's done. Making tahleel, making the wife permissible after she was impermissible. You had all those time to be with her. Why would you divorce for the third time? And I'm talking directly to the brothers. You know you love your wife. You know you care about her. You know you're attracted to her. You know you've been with her all of these years. You have kids. Why divorce her? If you get into an argument, okay, tell you, punch the wall, walk outside the house, curse, whatever you got to do to blow your steam off. Whatever you have to do what? Blow your steam off. Don't think about divorce because you know that you love the woman and you want to be with her. So why would you even bring up the concept of what? Divorce. It doesn't make any sense. You have your arguments, you have your fight. She threw something at me. Tayyib, okay. Hey, I don't want to talk to you right now. I don't want to be with you right now. And I hate you. You're this, Tayyib, Tayyib. But why would you even go near the word talaq? And you, in the bottom of your heart, know how you're going to feel once it's done and once it's over. That's foolishness. And if you can't respect that and hold that hudud, those hudud, stop, then you don't deserve to be with her. And this is from the wisdom of it being haram for you to stay with her after the third and final divorce. All right, about clear on this? So the man is supposed to be the imam. He's supposed to be strong, powerful, mentally, spiritually, and physically. You're supposed to control your desires, control your nafs. Don't get that angry. Don't inflate the situation. Don't blow it out of proportion. Control yourself. Because you know how you're going to feel when she's walking down the street, coming out of the Jumu'ah, holding Brother Fulan's hand. It's reality. Now you want to fight Brother Fulan, and you want to make problems with him. Oh, don't answer the phone when I call. I want to talk to my ex-wife about my own kids. Don't interfere. Da, 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 da. You had the opportunity to do that. Control yourself. And do not allow shaitan to string you on his finger. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
The brother also mentioned in the span of a month.
It's haram for a man to do that. Period.
What is the word mubashir mean?
What does the word mubashir mean? Please go back to the recording.
What are the different opinions about reciting the Quran, touching the mushaf while mincing? What are the different opinions about going to the masjid while mincing?
Question says, what are the different opinions with regards to reciting the Quran while menstruating or mincing, going to the masjid while menstruating or mincing, etc.? We say, first and foremost, is it even permissible, or is it from the sunnah for a person to ask about the difference of opinion and to ask about the views? Or is it mandatory for a person to say, what's the ruling, or what's your view? Or someone says, is there a difference of opinion, etc. Al-Muhim, what's important is that the first view is that anyone that has hadith akbar, major ritual impurity, hadith akbar, major ritual impurity. Pay attention. Everyone pay attention. Major ritual impurity. Whether it's janaba, minces, in other words, something that you must make a what? A ghusl for. They say that you are not allowed to recite the Quran. You're not allowed to read it from heart, by heart. You're not allowed to touch the Mus'haf Sharif. Period. Some of them say you can recite half of an ayah. Some say a third of an ayah. Things like this. This is the first view. That's haram. Everybody understand this? The second view is that it is permissible for a mincing woman to recite the Quran by heart. Because their hadith, their ritual impurity, is two things different than the junub. Number one, they don't have the option. This man went out and had sex. Now he's junub. The menses came to her. As the Prophet said to Aisha, this is something Allah prescribed upon the daughters of Adam. And Sahih Bukhari. Right? Everybody understand this? Secondly, they say that the hadith is what? It's longer. 5 days, 6 days. She doesn't recite the Quran at all. She'll forget, etc. Everybody understand this? So some of them allow her to read it by heart. Some of them may allow her to touch the Mus'haf Sharif wearing gloves, or to turn the pages with a pen or a toothpick or something like this, etc. And some of them say that she can do it if she's a Quran teacher. Another view is that there is nothing wrong for a junub or a mincing woman to recite the Quran al-Kareem, half of an ayah, a third of an ayah, a fourth of an ayah, an entire ayah, touch the Mus'haf Sharif. There's nothing wrong with it, period. Everybody understand this? They say it's what? There's nothing wrong with it. It's halal. Everybody understand that? Those are the views with regards to that issue. As far as entering the masjid, then it's very simple. Or a bit more, the first and foremost is haram for a junub to sit in the masjid. They also say it's haram for a mincing woman to sit in the masjid. unless the junub makes wudu. Some are saying unless they make wudu, or even if they just pass through. But to sit, they say no. A minced woman cannot sit in the masjid. And it's haram for her to enter and sit into the masjid. And the second view is the exact opposite. It's permissible for both of them to what? For both of them to do what? So these are the views of the ulama in brief with regards to these two issues. Both of them have their proofs and evidences. They have their adillah, first and foremost from the Quran al-Kareem. Then from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, hadith that are sahih and hadith that are da'if. With regards to mincing women into the masjid, Aisha combing the Messenger of Allah's hair. He stuck his head out the window. She did not enter the masjid. Hadith al-Ma'tiyah in the sahih as well. When he says, وَأَمَّا الْحُيَّةِ فَيَعْتَزِلْنَا الْمُصَلَّى, the mincing women to avoid the musalla. Naam, لَا يَمَسُّهُ إِلَّا الْمُطَهَّرُونَ. Allah says no one touches it except for what? Those who are pure. لَا يَمَسُّ الْقُرْآنَ إِلَّا طَاهِرٌ, as it states in the well-known hadith. These are some of their proofs and some of their evidences. إِنِّي لَا أُحِلُّ الْمَسْجِدِ. Hadith says, I do not allow any woman or any man, anybody in the masjid, junub or haid. Naam, in the Sunan Abi Dawud. This is some of their proofs and evidences. كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يحجزه شيء عن القرآن ما لم يكن جنبا. Hadith of Ali in the Muslim Ahmed, Sunan Tirmidhi and others. Nothing stopped the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم from reciting the Quran unless he was junub, etc. So that's some of their proofs and some of their evidences. As far as and also the famous hadith of Ibn Umar, that the mincing woman, the junub person, are not to read anything from the Quran. Everybody understand this? One on hadith. So those are some of their adillah. And the other ulama, they counter those adillah first and foremost by saying that you're proofs of one or two categories. Number one, category of a hadith which are clearly da'if, clearly weak. And those that are authentic, or the verses from the Quran that are not direct, they're not sarih al-dilala, they're not strongly used, they're not right to the point. No one touches it except for those who are pure. They said it doesn't pertain to the Mus'haf al-Sharif. It's talking about something else. And then this goes on. So it's a very long discussion, a very long argument. But they say it's permissible for a mincing woman and a junub man to read the Quran by heart, to touch the Mus'haf Sharif, to sit in the masjid, to pass by in the masjid. Those are the main views of the fuqaha with regards to that issue. Some say yes, some say no. Do what you feel is closest to the intended meaning of Allah and His Messenger. Alayhi salatu wassalam. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Barakallahu fikum. Naam. Jazakallahu khairan.
Is it the sunnah to cut off all of the newborn female's child hair for the aqiqah, or is this done to the male child?
Is it sunnah to cut off or to shave the baby girl's head for the aqiqah or not, or just for the male child? Some say yes, some say no. Those who say that it is the sunnah, they say the generality. On the seventh day, the baby is to receive his or her rights. The name is to be given. The head is to be shaved. The animal is to be sacrificed for the baby. And they say that's for boys and girls. For boys and what? And girls. So they say it's general. Another ulama, they say it's specific to males for several reasons. Number one, it says lil ghulam, or anil ghulam shatan, wa anil jariyah shah. Hadith states the ghulam, the boy child, receives what? 2 animals. And the jariyah, the baby girl, receives. So they say this, another hadith clearly distinguishes and differentiates between boy and girl. Everybody understand this? So some say that's the first reason. Secondly, they say that a girl's hair is not to be shaved. And that's from the characteristics of a male, from a man, shaving hair. The opinion that seems to be most correct and Allah knows best is that, well, we're not going to mention our opinion. That's what the ulama say. Some say yes, some say no. Wallahu alam. That's the proofs and those are the evidences. Wallahu alam. This will be the last question, inshallah.
What is the ruling if a dog touches your clothes, not lick, but simply sniff or brush by your clothes? Can you still pray in them? If a dog does lick your clothes, does the clothes make any other thing it touches najis? Sorry about the dog questions. Just had a dog experience today.
Khair, inshallah. If a dog licks you with his saliva, wash your clothes. Not 7 times, not 3 times, just once. Wash the scrub it, whatever you have to do. If you want to take it off, that's best. If if you're not even that, just under the sink, straight like this. That's it. Class, make salah. As far as if a dog sniffs you, then it depends. Was the dog's nose moist or dry? Some dogs have very moist noses, snouts. Some dogs, the nose or the snout is what? Dry. So if it's dry, there's nothing that you have to do. Because of what the people of knowledge mentioned, that the dry najasa is not like the wet najasa. That's even saying, is the dog's nose even najis? The Prophet ﷺ spoke specifically on saliva, the tongue, the mouth. So to say that the nose as well needs more dalil in our humble view. In our what? Humble view. Most of the ulama say that everything about the dog is najis. Kullu shay. Everything about it is najis. Everybody understand this? It's hair, it's feet, kullu shay. From head, top to toe, whatever the case may be. Everybody understand this? So therefore, if the dog sniffs you and there's some moisture on your clothes, it's most safe to do what? Wash it as well. As far as if there's no moisture, no wetness, just brush it off if you want to, or if not, you make the salah. As far as if the saliva did go on your clothes and then it spread to the rug, if the najasa went onto the rug, soiled the rug, then it's najis, went to najis as well. Then it has to be washed as well. As far as if it stayed only in your clothes and you brushed off on something else, then that's a different story. La bas bi idhnillahi ta'ala. The religion is easy, the religion is simple, the religion is clear. If a dog licks you or bites you or something like this, then just wash it briefly and simply. And if not, la haraj, inshallah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Jazakumullahu khairan.